everybody. It's
Hola!
Sunday, and boy, oh boy, do we have some fun things to show y'all, because we were busy yesterday doing some things. Actually got to come up here and play around, and we're continuing on with our paper experiment.
Yes, adding to it, by the way.
Found some other papers that we hadn't used, and then she had used some, and so we're like, all right, we need to cover all of them. Just get them all on the little, comparison things, and then we have something to show you.
Well, I had put the bigger ones in a different place because they lapped over the shelf, and I didn't want them getting funky. So I had put them someplace else for safekeeping.
Yeah.
We all know how that goes.
Yeah. Hey, this is P over here.
M over there.
Patricia.
Mariah.
And together,
we are PM Artist Studio.
Ooh, you know what? Hey,
I love the comment somebody made that said, you guys sing alike, but you don't sound alike.
I know. I thought that was interesting. I hear what I say sometimes as something that my mother would say.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. It's merely an observation, not a
confirmation. Validation. I have done it right.
Alrighty, y'all. Do say hello in the chat so we can say hello back. Otherwise, I do not know that you're here. We'd like to know that you're here because we are an arty-friendly bunch. And especially if you are here in the live stream, you will see chat. You will have access to chat. If you are in the replay, you will see chat. But you leave us a comment down below. Let us know that you are watching in the replay. And then, of course, give those thumbsy upsies.
Did it do it?
No, I turned it off.
Oh.
I noticed that. So I was watching, I've actually seen it in two other,
Carrie wants to know if I'm selling Girl Scout cookies.
Aw, you do look like a little brownie, like the...
Oh,
we got our hats.
Because of our hats, yes.
Mm-hmm. Miriam made these.
We're going to talk more about those later.
Okay, let me say hello to everybody. Oh, anyway, but I have seen it happen in a couple of different, the people that I watch, like the podcasters and stuff, they don't know how to turn it off. Oh, they're like, yeah, we're working through this. And I was like, should I say something in the comments? I'm not going to be like, anyway.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
They'll work it out. I did. I was like, oh, maybe it's this button over here that says reactions. It was it. Alrighty, guys, let's see. We've got Anna, Laura, Anina, Art Curious by MNW, the Hat Maker, Bartender's Daughter, Becky, Betsy, Kathy, Carrie, Charmaine, Christy, Cookie Wookie, that's Mo, Darcy, Dana, Dory, Eddie, Elizabeth, Ellen, Estella, Griffin-Shill, that's Rhonda, Isabel, Yanka, Jenny. There we go. Just for crafts and giggles, that is Kim. Kim, I think you are the Kim that sent us the letter. I think.
Yes.
Please tell me, yay or nay, confirm. Carrie, Kylie, Lygia is here. Linda, Lucy, Lydia, Making It with Minglet, that's Lisa Mingus, Marcia, Marguerite, Marcia Markle, Maya, Michelle, Paula Penka, Rose. Hey, Rose, it's so good to see you again. So happy you're here. Sandy, Star Traveler, that's Linda. SWL, that's Sherry. Tegan, Texture Junkies, that's Sharon. The Shelley Studio, that's Margot. The Whole Bucket, that is Cheryl. Alrighty, woo. If I missed you, it wasn't on purpose. Simply didn't show up in the list or you popped in or out. No, it wasn't her. Okay, so different Kim.
Okay.
I don't always know, I just,
if last name. One name.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure about that. But I didn't want to, act like it wasn't you. If it wasn't you. Or if it was you. You know what I'm saying. You know me. Hey, Rosemary. Yes, Pinky hello hands if you want me to, if I missed you and wasn't on purpose. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get topside.
Yeah, let's just get after it because we've got a lot on the plate today.
There we go, top view.
And I don't, I want to get to leafing.
Leafing it.
Leafing.
I said we might get to leafing.
But I mean, we have so many other exciting things to show you. I mean, seriously.
Cool. Fun.
It has been a very productive weekend thus far. And I was so happy because, we used to get together, Mariah and I, all the time. And now we don't so much, except for here. Yes. And I think that's why I really treasure this time. But yesterday she worked with me and
Hey, Laura.
We knocked out some more.
She even had a little stressy moment. I was like, hey, simmer down.
I did. It was good that she's here because I would have just dropped it all and said, okay, I'm totally befuddled. I don't know where I am. I don't know where to go.
Because she found the other 2 papers and she's like, oh my God. I'm like, it's fine. We can get them done. It's not like we know the process.
Yes. So anyhow, yes, it did work out. But I just kind of needed somebody there to sort of tell me that, you know, it was going to be okay.
Yes.
Reassurance.
Hi, monkey.
You know, I think that's one of the reasons that we work so well. And how long have we been doing this now?
Since 2019, November of 2019. And then about a year after that, we started streaming and we did that once a week. And then about a year into that, we went to the 3 times a week and then 4 times a week.
And I just think, you know, it's so strange because when we started out, I was like, you know, I don't know how to tell you this, Mariah, but I'm probably going to opt out on this, you know, after a while, because I'm just going to be bored and I don't want to do it anymore. It has not happened yet. Knock on wood.
No, it gets her excited. She has things to look forward to.
The thing about it is there's always something else, something different that's going to, you know, pull me back in. And I just really, I think the gel plate is the magic ingredient here because, you know, sometimes I'm like, I got that.
Hi, Pia.
I know how to do that.
Celia.
And then, you know, paper sticks to the plate again.
Mm-hmm.
And I look like a total idiot.
I don't think that that's true, but I like that you're, you know, humbled by that.
It's a humbling experience is what I want to say. I don't ever want to be that person who says, okay,
I got this every time.
I got this figured out. Come on, what do you want to know? That is not going to be me because I know as soon as that's out of my mouth,
yeah,
another piece of paper will stick to the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we decide to like
we do not want to challenge.
Yes, the universe
too, because they will come through. Okay, this, I guess it came in the mail yesterday. I didn't.
Yes.
It must have been in the post.
Yes.
Because sometimes I don't get that.
Well, and then whenever it says just PM Artist Studio on it, I think Castle just gives it to me.
Oh.
Now, if it has your name on it, he'll give it to you.
Okay. Well, yeah, so it said PM Artist Studio.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just so absolutely, I love it. And I'm gonna read you this card real fast here, just simply because it's wonderful. Okay, P&M. I had this idea that I needed to try on my 8x10 jelly plate. Step 1: blue Amsterdam paint with paint brayer 6-inch and spray with water along.
Here, can I have that for just a second? No, the card that you're reading from. I love you. I mean, it's already out there, but, you know, I mean.
Oh.
Should respect people.
Sorry. Kim, if you. See, look, I took off the address on the.
I know you did good there.
But look at this. So this is what she's talking about, because I think this is the other part to the one that she cut off to do the turtle on. You can see.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the
yeah, I know.
similarities there. So, okay, so this is her experiment, and then this is the end product here. And use my Tim Holtz puffer tool. Thinking it would move, it did, but not as well as I thought. LOL. Next, wait and wait and wait for it to dry. This is what I came up with on the front. I love sea turtles from the Crafters Workshop. If you're going to buy another stencil from somebody else, we love Crafters Workshop.
They are an awesome company, sweet.
They are an awesome company, and they send us stuff. White Space Sparkle is Snow and Ice Luster Gilding Polish. Check that out. Look at that. Oh!
It sparkles.
Yeah. Okay, now she hasn't got the turtle yet, but it's coming. Texture on turtle is Ranger Texture Paste and Gold Treasure Gilding Polish. Distress Oxide Rusty Hinge mix well with Ranger Texture Paste to add color. So she actually mixed that in with the paste before she put it through the stencil. And that really is a bang up stencil, I must say. And lovely. Look at that splashy business going on there.
Now we have turtles. We have Fran's turtles, but they are masks and they aren't that big.
Yeah, they're a lot smaller than this. Okay. And anyway, I'm giving this to Mariah because it has information that she needs to. And we can put that up on our
Oh, on the
thing
board.
back there.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kim.
I need some heavier duty clips.
I know we need to order more magnetic.
Yeah, these heavy duty ones, because they hold like they don't mess
like
around. I have those in the
All
shop
right.
pictures.
Well, you notice my hat
and my hat.
and Mariah's hat and another hat here, which I like this one too.
Oh, yeah, that one's super cute.
Isn't it? Look at the, I love the design on this
You
one.
should have worn that one today. That has, because she was like, I'm hot. I had to turn it on.
I had to turn on. Okay. I do. And I like this one a lot. And I can point it out and it almost looks like a crown.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, I played with it yesterday.
It seems appropriate.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And Miriam, you did not need to send the extra yarn back. That, bless your heart. I'm going to find some yarn for you and just send it to you. And you can just do whatever you want with it. All right, check this out.
Izzy loved it so.
Okay, and I think she really wanted to take it to school. And when she talked to me about it, I said, I don't think you should do that. It might get taken away. Yeah.
So far, I will say, because she sneaks things to school, she has come back with most things.
Stickers in there.
Yeah, she was like, I put my stickers in here. She held it around yesterday.
See, look, little kitten mittens.
And then she was so excited because it looks like her, what is it? Strawberry. What is it? The, what does she
those
call
little
it?
bitty things.
No, her thing that she made, the strawberry.
Oh!
Here, let me show you.
And she does this. She straightens the whiskers out. But Miriam, that was just, oh, yeah. This is her little, what do you call this kind of clay?
Yeah, the air dry.
Air dry. Izzy made this.
She did. All by herself.
I think
because I told her I wasn't going to help her. I was making mine.
But you can see the similarity here.
She's like,
oh, great. Okay, I'm going to pass that over to you, Mariah, because I do not want to get things on that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Straw Bunny. That's what it's called.
Really cool.
Uh-huh. Well, because they were meant to... Now, she ended up just making her solid. Mine actually squishes. Because we watched a little tutorial on the YouTube, on the kids' YouTube. Mine squishes more.
Oh.
And you hear it?
No, I didn't hear it, but I can see it. This is Mariah's. And we both agreed that Izzy's is more interesting than her mommy's.
I think that's a little rude.
Other than this little jewel down here.
She gave me that. She said, here, give that to your bunny.
Oh.
So,
she does have some nice texture on the belly.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Belly there.
Good.
All right. Now, hats. Wonderful. Now, Miriam, I'm pretty sure this one's crocheted. But I don't know the bunny thing is crocheted or if it's knitted. Don't know.
It's like those.
Okay, this is really cool too. So this came in, and there's another package in here. I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to distress it a little bit more, and use it as a earring thing.
Oh, well, then I shouldn't show you that I have one too. She gave me one of those.
Well, then I could just put them on, and we could share them, and they would be earrings.
Now, I don't know if they're the exact same. I don't know that I care that they would be the exact same, but see, look.
Oh, they're not. Oh, but they're, oh, look. Yes.
Oh, I think it would be great if you wore them together.
Oh, I do too.
They're a little heavy. I don't know. Like that. You don't care about that. Sometimes I get a little like worn out.
Well, anyway, that's what my intention.
And then she made that for me.
Oh, look at this. Oh, how elegant.
It's cool because see, yeah, that pulls up out of there. And then I was gonna ask her, so is that extra washy around the edges? I'm like, that would be a brilliant little way to, send some extra
I really
washi,
like the texture of this. Is it watercolor?
Hey, Lori.
Watercolor paper? Oh, I just love it.
Hi, Michelle. Hey, Joanna. Oh, Jonah. Sorry, Jonah.
Very cool.
Brad and I are gonna. I've got to make us eye appointments. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous.
Okay, so this is this little hoopty-doo. It was not on here. It was in the package. I just hooked it on here so that... Brian, I'm going to give you this because I'm going to design these as earrings after the...
It's all like, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah, that's happening. Okay. I even know where some gold ear wires are. Okay, now. Tons of really cool papers. And look at this little bit. You didn't have to do that. Or that needs to go in our
okay.
stash. Cool papers. Really cool. I cannot believe how you gave some of these up. I would have had a hard time. Because I
think Miriam's a lot nicer person than she is.
Well, we've already decided that most people are nicer than I am. Okay, I don't know what kind of book you call this.
It's fabulous.
It is absolutely fabulous. And the prints and these little details that are in here. I love how, see that?
Mm-hmm. People
good.
Did you see that? It's like people walking.
Oh, yes. Of course it is. Lovely. And then
she gave the best to you. No crying today. It gets sticky.
Yes. And it came all the way from Israel.
And during the summer in the heat of,
Okay, I'm going to have to take my...
Our shirts the other day, I had to unstick them when I pulled them out of the package because it was so hot that the vinyl stuff on there had...
And when you're talking about being in in
the back of a mover van thing or whatever, delivery things, yeah.
But look at these little... this is just so leathery. This really goes with my Rusty Manifesto page that I showed you the other day.
Hey, we should rip out the page and put it in there.
Oh, I should. Look at this. I just love this. And then it has, see, this is another place to put stuff.
Like a place to put stuff.
See that?
Oh no, now Paul is crying. Yeah. And Mo said extra credit to Miriam for P's eyeball wetting. Oh, good jelly. She's now Miriam's crying too. Okay. Hey, Anthony.
I just love this. I might take this out and use this for my bookmark for the new book that I got.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm trying to...
I do want to read that book too.
I just couldn't not do it because, when independent artists, they...
Hey, and if you want to know which book she's talking about, you need to reach out to her individually, and she'll tell you which book it was.
Yes. And I will tell you, and I will let you know. Yeah. Oh, I just look at this little belly band up here at the top. Man, you don't have to worry about things sticking right now because they really... Okay, now where are you stuck up? Where are you hanging
attached?
Look at that. Oh my gosh, and look at this color.
Love that.
And I love these little notchy things here. I mean, how cool is that? Look at that.
Oh, and hey, Kylie, I watched your video this morning. She did some masterboard things, new projects to be coming. And that was kind of, step one, creating those masterboards. She utilized Miriam's Happy Stream stencil and some of those mosaic circles. I loved it. And then she was trying to use some old paints. And they're always a surprise, aren't they? They give you a little, hey, we're not going to act the way that we thought, you thought we were.
I love these little things that are inside of other things here. I think it's just brilliant. It's just so cool. And then this one, oh, look, you can stick stuff in between here. Little notes and whatnot. These are just so cool. These little removable pouches.
Yes.
I love stuff like that. And look at it, how cool that looks with that green here, the orange. Oh my God. I just absolutely, this is like the 4th time I've looked at this because I had it back over behind me. Oh my gosh, is that?
No, that's actual bubble wrap.
That's actual bubble wrap.
She didn't have, but we should send her some.
I just love this feeling.
I'll send you some more stuff, Miriam.
It's very, very...
what I usually do with Miriam is I kind of wait. It'll be a little while before I send you things, but I get together a packet so that way it makes sense when I send her things.
You let me know the next time because I've got some special things that I would like to.
Okay, well, just pull them together and then I'll put it in an envelope and then it feels like it's the right amount of stuff, because it also there's amount that like hits over a weight, and then like the price of the shipping goes way up. So it's a nice little, usually about, I think if it goes over 8 ounces, that's when the price really goes up like another $10 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, just let me know and I'll pitch in. Okay, this is so cool. I don't know what kind of paper this is, but it feels wonderful. I can tell, you know, it feels like it has a high cotton content.
That was funny, Sharon.
I don't know that, but I'm going to go through these real quickly. Okay, look at this.
Oh, yes. And then,
I mean, these are just so wonderful.
I would assume that book took multiple streams.
But
do you have a playlist? And if you do, then, Mo, will you go grab the playlist link?
This is just so wonderful.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool stuff.
Cool stuff. Look at that. Eyes. And then fish. Swimming in the Mediterranean, I feel sure.
Okay, there's a link to Miriam's channel, and I'm sure that she probably, but see, Miriam works a lot like we do. You're probably going to have to watch, over multiple streams, and then finally it all like sort of comes together like, 8 months later.
This just makes my heart sing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, and that's one of, well, I mean, a lot of these stencils are either our designs of other designers, but PMR Studio stencils, but that's one of Miriam's designs right there.
And I think this is like,
I can't remember the name of it. It's
tissue, just regular tissue, but it's so, can you see that? The hand is just amazing. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at that lovely ombreing business there. Oh, look at those colors. Oh. Got that little black around the edge there. And then this is where the little
and Izzy loved her little tag. She's like, I'm keeping this.
She brought me the tag and she said, Gigi, check this out. So she was really...
Yeah, she was impressed.
Oh, she hauled that purse around all day yesterday. And she showed it to me 2 different times. Now, I'm not sure what this is, but it's really cool paper that embossed.
I think she ran them through embossing folders. That would be my guess. I don't know. Or maybe it came that way.
Yeah.
And then she's done some, media on it.
We have that because I've used that before.
A similar one.
Similar. Okay. But anyway, really cool tag. Look at that butterfly. See those little details on that butterfly? Very cool. Very cool. Miriam, you absolutely, just love it, love it, love it. I'm going to do something with those. And Mariah, this needs to go on our shelf, but I kind of want to, I've got this idea of making something to put in one of those really cool little, I'm going to hand this to you because I don't have room for it.
I'm telling you, lady.
I'm becoming overloaded back behind me here. I haven't taken care of some of the other.
Okay. I'm going to put it up on the shelf. That way you know where to find it.
Other stuff. Okay, now I know that I did something with... Mariah, do you know what I did with the stamper things that we did? Did I give them back to you?
The stamper things we did? This?
Well, let's do that. And we'll think about what I did.
Oh, the red ones.
The red. Oh, yeah. I know where they are. Never mind.
And the embossed.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're right here.
I don't know if we should put those like on the back side of this, and it should be with those.
It should be because it's kind of part of the same experiment. Okay, so here's a new paper, the Mashi, which you didn't get to see me do.
But I think that you did when we first busted these out and you were doing
on the gel plate.
I think that you did.
Maybe so. But that is what's really important about adding these little jobbers up here, because I can actually identify the paper by comparing how it feels to some that I don't, that's just hanging out over here. All right, now check this out. I really wished I'd done the same thing with this, that this would flip back and you could see the back side of it, but I didn't think about it. How about that?
And I want y'all to know that I did all the little, pencil labeling thing on all of them. My hand hurt yesterday.
And see, it tells you archival ink and oxide ink. And the reason that these are different from this is acrylic paint, where I put it on the plate and stamped into it. And you can see, I mean, if you didn't absolutely know, I'm not sure you could tell the difference.
Not much.
Because you've got the embossing stuff over the top of it. So I'm not sure that you could. But one place, and see, this is where I wished I could flip this over so you could see the back side of this. Because remember, some of those, it went through to the back very, very nicely. And others not so much. Pardon me. So that's how that works. And the watercolor that I used here is the Renaissance. You can tell
here. And that was a suggestion by Carrie to note which watercolor. And then we're like, well, if we're noting that, then we're going to do these other flowers. So that should be in a different
so that watercolor. We're at least doing different to see if there's
and there was.
There was ever so. But now here's the thing. I told Mariah, the blue flowers were left out to dry overnight.
The first round.
But these, we put them down right away. And there was very little. I mean, there was some. I mean, on some of these, you can really see it when you look at where that goes on to the white. But for the most part, on this paper, that watercolor stuff stays put. You're going to have slightly fugitive, and also red is usually more fugitive than blue.
Yes.
At least that's been my experience. And anyhow, so Mariah went through and glued this washi tape down to make a little hinge pocket here. Isn't that great?
And we PM Artist Studio. She's like, we need to stamp this with PM Artist Studio. I'm like, well, I'm never going to say no to some, shameless branding.
Oh, the other... Well, I mean, this wouldn't have happened if both of us hadn't. Okay. So we also wrote down what stamp was used, which I thought that was. And also, oh, no, I didn't write down the date on this one.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, because those were the two newer ones.
These are the two newer ones.
That's what we thought, too. Paula says they are works of art all by themselves. I know. I'm like, just need to, it needs to be in some kind of book, which I was thinking about this morning, how that could work.
Okay. Yeah, this is the pen that I used, the Staedtler Permanent, just in case water got down on it.
Well, and the fact that you're doing this after you have glued down, that does right over the medium. I was having a little trouble. If you can't see it where I wrote in pencil in places, it's because there's matte medium down there. The acrylic, Blick.
Well, I should come back over and go over those, but, I didn't have time with the pen because the pencil will fade over time. Okay, so Moshi was one that we didn't show you when we did the cards the other day. The other one is the Kozo. Oh, and here, and I wanted to read you this because I wrote this down. Tearability is a plus, and it is...
You wrote tearability.
Tearability.
It's a word. We need to put that in the PMisms.
Imbibation.
Yeah. How much is going to imbibe? These are...
Okay. So, and it's extremely transparent. You can see that. This is unbleached hemp paper, unsized. And it says high quality Japanese art paper. It doesn't say that on all of them. And this one particularly is acid free. So if those things are important to you, then the Moshi is a good choice for you.
Yeah.
And you can see there's not a lot of difference in smooth and the rough side of the
paper.
And sometimes there is a lot, but on this particular one, there wasn't a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it's extremely absorbent. It'll go through to the back side. Take that into account. You know, don't be doing that over something else that you would like to
yeah. And it really
preserve.
Is quite interesting how different some of these really are in their ability, like just how it sucks it up and how quickly it'll dry. So
Yes.
if you are doing stamping things, and that's where this was really enlightening to the both of us, as far as like, I mean, especially if you plan on, and we'll show you those here in just a second, the embossing powder stuff, because like you got to move it, because it sucks up even just the oily business or even the paint. I would say that, you know, one of my recommendations with a majority of these rice paper art style papers is that if you are going to do heat embossing, really the acrylic paint is a better way to go, because it sits on it, there's more of it, and it does grab onto the embossing powders a little bit better because they suck it up.
Yeah. And you can see it pulls it to the back even
Mm-hmm.
on the
Hi, Maya.
even on the acrylic paints. But it's still, and I
was going to
I
photograph
will say
them
I
for them.
used open paint.
Yeah.
So probably should make note of that, but yeah. Okay, so here's this one. The Kozo. It is unsized, and Kozo obviously means mulberry in Japanese. It's a premium quality Japanese art paper. Okay? Super absorbent. You can see here.
And this is the paper that the artist restoration guy uses. The Kozo paper.
And you can see when it's wet, you have a lot. It pulls apart quite easily. So you need to be careful with that and just be aware of that. But you can see it does hold a line. And yeah, I kind of did that a little bit more on these. I wished I'd done it on some of the others.
Yeah.
But you know, what the heck? I think that this is a super cool little project. I'm just going to go through these real quickly. So, and I did write down some more information here from the packaging. This is lightly sized. It's 80 GSMs. And I wrote down that if they had listed it on the paper. It is not listed on all of the paper. But this is a pretty heavy duty.
And Deb was mentioning that one day that, you know, not all of them list that information.
Yeah, they don't. They just don't. And you can see you've got a lot of transfer to the backside with the stamping from the gel plate. I really wished I could flip that over and
yeah.
You know, I didn't realize that. Okay. And again,
that was an afterthought.
It was an afterthought. And
so if you make your own deck, make sure
Action series, I don't know if that means anything. It's a stiffer, more fibrous paper. It's certainly more opaque. You can see there's not a lot of
see-through.
You can see a little bit, but yeah.
Not a lot.
This would be something if you wanted more substantial.
I plan on doing that, Susan. In fact, what I was going to do is actually go over to their website and copy like their information, so I have the full blurb, and then like just paste that to one of those panels. But we still have some things that we kind of want to attach to these. So until we figured that out, and then how it's maybe going to go into the book, because I may even just do like a sheet in between, because I was thinking about possibly using the Zutter.
We could even put an envelope that we could stick things in.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
but then envelope. Have it, you know, just the one sheet in front of it.
Yeah. Because we do have lots of nice white little envelopes that we could stick things
Yeah, I think
into.
that would be great.
I do too.
I like that idea.
And then you could get them out and look at them and feel both sides of them.
And then what I could do for the Zuttering situation is actually we can glue like a little hingey thing that's a little more substantial to the envelope.
Yes.
then that way, then they go into the envelope, flippy booky thing, and then maybe on the front, or we utilize like the front of the envelope, and then that will put the name and the further, the stuff on the website.
Yeah,
love that.
Anyway.
That.
Okay, here's some facts. Here it has great tearability.
Mm-hmm.
It has a soft hand, 2 sides, and I said perhaps I did paint it on the wrong toothy side rather than the silky smooth one, but I think you can see there's really not a lot of difference there. Perhaps some.
Yeah.
This is the rough side, and this is the smooth side. So perhaps you do get a little more line definition on the smooth side. I don't know what they recommend. I really didn't read that.
Becky, she's so funny. She says, make sure to type it. It's a type of book that you can add to later if you have more paper types. Definitely.
Absolutely. Okay, so it's
or it
lightly
could be like
sized.
A volume series.
It's the Koshu series. I don't know what that means. And it's 82 GSM. It is a little more hefty.
So remember, the Koshu thing was like where it was made. It's like those certain papers are from a
certain area. And that is what that means.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mariah. I did know that, but I just kind of...
This is totally like how we like hang out in the evening and talk about like, oh yeah, and then we can do this and then we can do that. Now, if we get to it, that's a whole other story. But hey, we've talked about it, and now we have the content out here.
Okay, so here you can see. Yeah, I got some really good. And this is the smooth side, and this is there's really not a ton of difference in the way it acts.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see it's so sheer that it just goes right through the paper. So you do need to have something underneath it. And the air conditioner will blow this about. And this is lightly sized. It's high quality Japanese paper. It's from the Eisen series, and it's 14 GSM. So you can see, like some of those others were like in the 80s, and this you can see how really. And then here's it really goes through to the back side.
And I love that's probably one of my favorites as far as like a cool, like being able to collage and then overlap and just the color. Like you see that this is a great representation of why transparent colors can be so much fun. Because here, even you have watercolor on the paper over the acrylic paint. And yet you're still getting that mixture of what layering transparent paints would do for you.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Good point, Mariah. Good point.
Thank you.
And again, these were all painted with the Renaissance. And I think April's the one that hooked us up with those. Yeah. And this is the rough side and this is the smooth side. So you can see there's not a whole lot of difference, but some.
Oh yes. The Renaissance paints. Yes. That little travel kit thing. It was either her or Xandra.
Yes. Yeah. All right. And I apologize for this one because this one I stamped it on the wrong side.
Oh, Mo wants more of the experiment brought into the technology into view.
How's that?
But see, on this one too, you can see that layering and what the overlapping of the color. Isn't that nifty? And I am so glad that you, at first when you said, oh, I want to make it all flippy, I was like, I don't know if that's a very good idea. And I didn't know what the value of that was. But there's value.
There is value in this. And I really, and it's funny because Mariah and I were talking, I said, okay, what color should I gel print this little piece of paper that I want to glue them on over to see, the transparency of the paper. And she says, well, how about green? And I thought, green is good.
Well, the reason I was saying green, and I didn't really tell you that at the time, is because your pouch is green. And you were doing the red, which makes sense because then, like, that way you would kind of know what was going to happen with the flowers that you already have.
Right. But
that wasn't very exciting and it was going to get all froggy.
So
she went with the yellow.
Well, what I did is I used
Or both. You did both, which I'm glad that you did more of the yellow lines and then just the green in the little spots.
Okay, so this is what the green actually on there is. It's the turquoise.
Mixed
and
with
then
the
I
yellow.
went over it with is it this one? Yeah. You can see. This is the color that I went over it with.
Yeah.
And pulled it all up. So anyway, that's how we arrived at that. So let's see here. Okay. This is the Maigret.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that.
Right. So what Ma was saying is like when you're putting it up there, give like, but show each panel part because, you know, you got some off screen or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you just want to see like the full panels.
Oh, how about that?
Well, that's somewhat better. But I'm just saying when you hold it up in there, you can show, you know, top panel, bottom, side. She's getting it.
I'm getting it.
Yeah. Now go down. That works too. I love you.
Okay. I don't even understand what you're saying.
I know you don't. That's okay.
All right. Well, anyway, this is Chinese. This is the Zhuan.
Yeah. This is the one that is not a Yasutomo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is very, very, this is the imbibition factor ability. It's very absorbent.
It imbibes
extremely. And you can see that what's happening here. And it really went outside the lines a lot. Now, I will say, it did have a little bit of bleed over, but I don't know if that was from the original painting or when I glued it down. Because you can see it went out of the lines a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably not. All right. Now, what do? I hold it up here.
Yeah. Basically, all you're doing is showing each panel in the screen individually. So that way they get the full view of it.
Okay. You can see right away that it's not going to the back side a whole lot, but you can see the outline. And this is the smooth side and this is the rough side.
And this one really...
And I think that it
showcases the difference in how it stamps. Because some of them are quite noticeable from the rough to the smooth side on how well they stamp.
And you have semi-transparency here. I don't think... I mean, you can see it, but not... This might be a good choice if you just want it to be ever so slight. Now, this is kind of cool. All right, so this is the smooth side back there, and this is you can get totally different effects turning the paper over. As you can see, holds the line quite crisply. This has more of a blendability. So I think that that's something, that's noteworthy.
Yeah.
This is hemp paper that has been sized. It's acid-free. And it's 43 GSM, and it is high-quality Japanese art paper. And it does have a really interesting
crinkle. Yeah, and it's
crinkle to it.
Crinkle.
It's soft, but it's still sort of, and that's the sizing that you're here. That's what keeps it a little bit crisp. Okay.
Which one is this?
This is Hanshi. And I like this paper. I like this paper a lot. You can see that from front to back, you've got a lot of transfer there. You can use either side of it. And that is sometimes really important if you're going to see both sides of it. But you can see lovely translucence on that paper. And it's very floaty. See that? Very floaty. This is the rough side. See? And this is the smooth side. I would say the rough side is the way to go. Rough, smooth. I think you get more intense colors on the
rough. Well, it sucks in more. That's why.
I think it does. But it is, remember, it is sized. No, it's not. And these are the larger, this is the pack that came with the larger sheets.
Yeah. Bye, Anthony. Thanks for hanging. Thumbsy upsies, y'all.
Yeah, don't you dare leave without doing that. We'll hunt you down.
Hunt you down.
Hunt you down. Okay. And this is the sketch paper, which, you know, I like it for some things. It's great for gel plating.
Yeah.
It's a little not so satisfying watercolor painting.
It's a boo to tear out.
And it is very, see, I said tough.
Yeah. But if you're
stiff. And you can see. It's not wispy. The air conditioner doesn't take it places.
Now, I will say, if you wet it, it is a little easier to tear, but I wasn't going to do that and then have to wait for the flowers to dry because she was going,
yeah, we were trying.
Well, yeah. So if I was to wet it, then it was going to mess up the watercolor that was already on there, most likely.
Yeah. Very true. So anyway, we've got that aspect of that. Mm-hmm. Now, we have new experiments here. I'm going to hand these back to Mariah. I don't want anything. Those are really, really, really special. Okay. Oh, and as you can see, I don't know if I said this, that I know that I read Christy Hartman's, but I don't know that I read Darcy's.
Yeah. I remember I wrote it along the side.
Wrote it on the side, and I hope you noticed that.
That's the sketched flower number 2, style 2.
Right. And the reason I chose the flowers that I did was because I really wanted some space in there.
To watercolor.
And when you have a stamp that has a lot of blocking out, then it's not very much fun to watercolor.
The Gossin. Is the Gossin in here? Yeah, I think that was probably one of the first ones she did.
Yeah. Okay, I do want to show these because I think this explains a lot about the color. This is the color that I used for the daisy-like flower.
Hey, where is are you sure?
What?
Sketch, Hanshi, Asagami, Grez. Oh, Gossin. Okay, yeah. It was in there. So, yes. You'll just have to...
And this is Asagami. And there's no reason. I just grabbed it because it was here.
Yeah.
But print's lovely.
I like
this is on the smooth side.
And the wavy business was probably more due to the paint.
The brayer.
Yeah.
I had not brayered off my brayer, and it had those sticky lines, you know, that it gets when you use a lot of paint. So that's what you're seeing here. And
yeah,
these are the colors that I used, and they're open, golden open.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we doing here? Well, the other flower that we used was
here.
Okay, yeah, this is this stuff.
And then that's just one of the larger of the
Sashi
cherry blossoms.
Hata.
Yeah,
Sashi Hata. Yes, and that's this. Okay, this was done yesterday. So we're going to see what happens with the watercolor. We've got the papers on here. And this is what Mariah said. These need to go into our experiment. You know, they need to be part of our...
Yeah, I would like to... I think I'm going to cut those out and glue them on the back. Or, you know, on one of the panels here. Because then that'll be an interesting thing to see how well they glue down. And we wanted to make sure they were dry first. Because this is that kind of crazy ink that...
And I would say, Mariah, do half and half so that you can flip it over and see...
How much came through.
See how much it goes through.
Okay.
Because I think that's... I don't know that that's important, but here's one of the things. A lot of times, if I really want to make sure that I'm not having a lot of bleed out, I'll use the back side rather than the front side. Because you have less distortion. And, you know, it's just if you're in a hurry. Okay, so we've got that we're going to do today. All of the papers.
So, oh yeah, because you're gonna watercolor those. Yes.
Now this is really cool. So what Mariah did, and this is
Sophia's Dahlia.
And she just used, okay, you tell them what you did.
All right, so I used, just the clear. All right, show them that. The stamp. And then because there's two, she gave me two of every style of paper. Stamped it and then used both the heavy, or, here, show that. And then that. To see if you are utilizing just, with the premium clear ink stuff, and then the heat embossing, what that would do. And then P's going to be watercoloring those today because it's just super fun. Now, I didn't do each and every one of them like rough side, but if you see two flowers, that's because it was very noticeable on like that something different was happening from the front to the back, especially with the heavier. And you'll be able to kind of tell which one.
And you can see the little
yeah. Whether it was the heavy or the fine. Sorry.
Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, I hit
That's okay.
that thing again.
That thing.
Somebody said it was sounding better. Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to hand this back to you, Mariah, so that I can get ready to. Alrighty. Now, where are we here? I need to get I'm just going to use these because I have them and they don't take up very much space. And I can grab colors quickly. This is the lid that I took off of one of the boxes of paints that I have because I was just like, okay, I don't need that. And the other thing I really like about these Renaissance paints is they stay goopy.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a plus and a minus simply because...
Oh, Joyce wants to know how long did it take us to put this all together. So remember, we have started a lot of these via, like, in the past 3 streams, I think.
Yeah.
And I have a playlist for all the Yasutomo, all the rice papers, because I don't want to say it's just that, because we do have the Migres. Our sausage
from
paper.
China.
Yeah, that imbibes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Imbibation.
It's imbibation. But yeah, it has taken us that, and then it was pretty funny because, like we said, we found the other 2 papers yesterday. But once you kind of have the system in place, it really isn't terribly, it wasn't taking that much more time. Because it's like, okay, well, we know we need to stamp it, dry it, emboss it, watercolor it, glue it down.
Yeah. Now, here's my feeling about this. Mariah wants to glue it down on the back. And that would work because it's going inside of but we could still have another panel that goes out this way.
Yeah, one that flips up again or one that flips again.
Out to the side.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think we've got options there. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, these are not any particular order. I'm just... always make sure, this is one of the things that I would tell my kids because I didn't always remember to wash my brush out before I stuck it back in its little spot. Always wash your brush out. I'm just going to use a whole bunch of different colors here because I really I want to see what...
Oh, thanks, Devin.
What happens here.
This was fun. I enjoy this sort of, art. It tickles my fancy.
Two different colors blue there, you can see that. And when I do this, I like to have spots where I can kind of, rinse out my brush before I go on, but then I'm not wasting my watercolor there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And hi, Trish and Evie.
Okay, I think that's good because this is a dahlia, And I don't know what colors dahlias are, but I'm thinking we don't care about that anyway. We can just make our dahlia anything we want.
That's right.
Okay, so
now
I need to move this up a little bit. I already know.
Some of this is going to be kind of interesting because one of the things that I noticed is that, especially with the heavy, you know, the thick embossing powder, is that the center of the flower, for whatever reason, wasn't sticking as much, which I would have expected the opposite. I really don't know exactly why that was.
Now you can see you're not getting that bleed through because these lines are so
holding it
heavy. They are just holding that right in place there. And I don't know if this is an effect that you would really want, but certainly something, you know, to think about.
Can you run your finger across that? Because some of them, those lines are still going to be the actual ink and not the embossing. I don't know how long that's going to stay there. Like, it will evaporate, or I don't know, what is it when oil, like, basically kind of fades off or whatever.
Right. Okay, now you can see that went through the paper, so I'm picking this up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I like using the watercolors rather than the acrylics is because the acrylics are going to cover, they're going to stay on the surface more of the embossing. And your watercolors are not. Your watercolors will just...
Okay, well, here's some other information for you. As I was heat embossing these, especially the fine embossing powder on the thinner, you know, the thinner the paper,
right,
it would actually go through, like melt through.
Yeah, you can see.
Again, I don't know if what you're seeing, though, is the ink or if it is, in fact, the embossing powder.
Oh,
that's why I said run your finger over it. You might be able to tell more.
I can't tell. It feels very smooth back there, but I can feel it on this side.
Can you feel it all the way around the flower, like towards the center? Because I would assume that some of that center part is not actually embossed. It is merely the ink.
I think you might be right, because look, you can see the
slickiness.
Slickiness, and the other is shiny and bright.
Right. I think eventually the oiliness of the clear ink will dissipate. I don't know how much. That's going to be some interesting stuff. And I think also why it will be in our best interest to do, like what you said, glue part of it down and then keep part of it up, because it's going to be more likely to it will. Yes, it will.
Okay, we're gonna get a little bit more bold here with our colors. I like that purple that I make with that. It's really, really nice.
Well, it was mainly, Laura, that's a great observation, but I think more or less the issue was more about the actual paper, and it's like the embossing, especially with the heavy, big chunky stuff, would just roll off the paper. Even if I had put quite a bit of the clear ink down, because the paper was like sucking it in, and then it would just roll off.
And it was like you had to move fast.
Super fast. I was like, okay, I gotta have this like ready. And then I was like, okay, now on those, this is why I did front and back, because I was getting very like interesting results, especially with the thick stuff. Like that one was more noticeable. The thin stuff kind of sticks no matter what. But there are a couple where it was like you had to move quick, and also just having that interesting like rolling off effect.
Okay, and I don't really have clean yellow here. It's all
Yes, it is clear embossing powder on all of these.
mucked up there, but I kind of want a little bit of that right in the middle, and that's probably going to all get swooped in.
And the clear ink is creating a resist in itself.
Yes. Okay. We're going to have a little.
Yeah, the powder isn't sticking everywhere. So some of this, the lines that you see are simply the clear ink.
This really does help.
Yeah. And I would say, hey, Fran, if you're really interested in getting some feedback on oil paints and that information, I would say put a post over in Makers, because we're going to have a lot of people over there that aren't here. And I think that would be a great way to find out that information. I'm loving this. I like that you did the 2 different colors, because that helps kind of say, hey, there's 2 things going on here. Yeah, and I went with this one to do this experiment because it was sort of somewhere in between. Like, it didn't have super fine lines, but then it had some pretty, it gave me a good, I felt like, yeah.
We need to wait for these to dry before you can really start appreciating, what's happening here. And I am trying to up my, and I don't know that I will do all these. I'm going to try it and grab. Now, this one is, this one is a good one, because you can tell right away that center part, the embossing
did not stick. And then I even, because I wanted to really showcase that it just wouldn't stick, I heat embossed the pieces and parts that kind of blew out to the side and stuck them on there. So that way I would also, it was like a visual representation, or, reminder of what was going on. Because it was just like rolling off of there.
And you can see now this one,
feel it, because you'll be able to.
It just really soaked in. Yeah. So the mochi paper, and I'm not even going to watercolor this one. I'm going to go to another one that's a little more substantial and has some sizing to it, which is this Yasamoto sketch. Now you can see. Can you see how the shiny business is? And this is really, you can tell by the way I'm holding this paper. Let me get this back over here. This one just floats.
I was afraid to do that because seriously, like, as soon as I sort of picked it up, it just rolled off.
Yeah.
So if I was like doing it up in the air, I think it would have been like, with some of them, not all of them.
Yeah. Okay. Here, this is also the Yasamoto, but you can actually see the crystal still on there.
Yasutomo.
Sorry. And they just, and I don't. You did one on one side and one on the other.
We love the tiny tins. Yeah, those things are super.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've got those little things coming at me from all different directions here. Okay, so let's just get after this, and let me see what color we've. Oh, that's kind of nice. Brown.
If y'all wanted exact consistency, that's again not exactly our jam. Bye, Kylie. Thanks for hanging. I was a little bit surprised with the sketch. I had thought that it was gonna, I thought it was gonna act a little bit differently. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Not really, as far as the watercolor is concerned. I don't think it is.
Right.
And it's easier to turn this than it is, because I want to get into my
Yes, and we have written those on there, and then so these will end up again being we're going to adhere them to the cards, but this is sort of, we want to show you again, this is the process that we went through. We made sure that we notated on each paper what was happening there. And then once we put them on the cards, we'll probably write whether it was the fine or the chunk extra heavy, ultra thick. There we go, ultra thick embossing.
Just about rinsed my brush out of my coffee cup.
Don't do that. Why you should? Why don't you have your Yeti?
Pardon? Yeah, I've got my. Okay. Now,
huh?
I'm not going to do anything with that one, but you can see it does go through.
Yeah, it pushes out a lot.
Pushes out a lot. Let's just go ahead and.
And I don't think it's holding those lines simply because, again, I don't think that much embossing powder actually was heated on there. The line work that you're seeing is only the ink. But this one did work better on one side versus the other.
And I'm just really hurriedly doing this. And I just wanted to do one side on one side and one on the other. But you can see here on this one,
I can actually...
yeah, it's separating out those. But look over here. It just completely went.
Hey, and if you hold it sideways... Now here, let me show you how to hold it. So that way you can see really what's going on. Look, you can see the embossing powder. Do you see it? From the side?
Oh, yeah.
You can see the crusty business that's...
You can.
I guess I could heat it up some more, but some of it just balls and stays like right there on the top.
And you can see what's happening over here with this. Just it isn't holding it, but over here.
See, we stamped on different sides of the paper.
Yeah. You can see it up here, where it's very thick, and that's where it's holding the line.
Holding the line.
Holding the line. Holding the line. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I want to get one more of these.
Oh, no, this little 10 actually was put together, I think by, I'm pretty sure, it must have come from April, because she would have to put the little thingies in there. I'm pretty sure. So a little creative over on Etsy, that is April, she carries the Renaissance paint. That's what's in this little tin. I don't know that you can get the little tin, like this particular setup, but you can buy the Renaissance paints.
Yeah.
Over there on a little creative.
Okay, I'm mixing up a little stronger paint because what I've noticed on the others over here is that your watercolor is always going to dry lighter than what you see.
Yeah.
So you must take that into account. And I want to get some of my darker color out here, right around the center of that. And I'm hoping, because you can see on this how it really did a great job.
That's the fine. I'm pretty sure of it.
And this is the Asagami paper. And it really, you know, it went through to the extent that you can see the shiny part there. So you know that you're getting a good, and we're not going to have so much bleeding through out.
Right.
In the
beyond the flower, or beyond the line.
Yes.
Oh, bye, Devin. Thanks for hanging. My recommendation, if you are new to embossing powders and you kind of want to experiment, but yet not like, you know, totally invest in a bunch of different colors and all of this thing, you know, all of the stuff, you will probably find the most enjoyment from the fine clear powder, because you can put the fine clear powder over acrylic paint. You can, if you have lots of ink, you know, just regular ink stamp stuff, and then you can get color that way. but we had the most success across all papers with the fine embossing powders. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, now I could blot this.
But you're going to lose some of your color.
I'm going to lose some of it. I'm going to let this dry as is, and I can't flip it over. But you know what it looked like because I showed you the flip over earlier. And I'm going to hold it up and see. Yeah, there's some, it is going through to the other side. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to cut these out anyway. So I'm just going to take a little piece of this paper here and show you.
Well, they're all going to be glossy. Like, it's all going to give you the shiny look. The chunky, the heavy, ultra thick stuff is going to give you just more blobby lines. Again, that has more to do with, like, because it was mentioned earlier, oh, if the lines are thin, you definitely want the fine powder. If you're going with big, thick designs, the ultra thick stuff can be really cool. It tends to be more bumpy, but I also like that because it like kind of balls up and, you know, you can get it thin.
Okay, it really doesn't go through on the piece of paper that I tore off there.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see that. So, and you can tell because it didn't leave any residue here.
It's holding it in place.
Holding it in place. Now, I think that is, you know, that's sometimes really important. Okay, so would be the thick, right, Mariah? Okay, you can tell because see the little...
How it, again, blew the powder away because once again, it's sitting on top of a lot of it didn't like soak in. The line work that you're seeing is more about the actual clear ink than anything. But yeah, hold that up closer and then give the little, see how much thicker the line is and how it sort of just, it makes the whole design wider.
And can you see these little dots out here? I like those.
That's why
I think that you might actually use, if you want to do a spattering effect prior to, you could just sprinkle that around and heat it up and because it's going to maintain that.
Yeah.
It's not going to. Okay, that's the asagami. Now, we've already tried that one.
Are you not going to paint that one?
Oh, do you want me to paint this one?
Well, I think because that's the thicker line, yeah.
Well, I already did an asagami, and I figured, you know, everybody kind of got that.
Well, no, but that was the thinner powder.
All right, well, let's...
Hey, I stamped
get
all
bored
these.
With my colors here, so I'm...
Just whatever you need to do to keep entertained there, P. Be experimenting. Sophia says the chunky, heavy embossing powder is more for layering, which I tried to do. I have not perfected that technique. Oh, and then if you have like the little waffle thing, is that what you're talking about? I haven't tried that. I think, Paula, did you try that? I'm pretty sure Paula has the waffle maker and is embossing, heat embossing things in her waffle maker. I don't know where I would keep it. I'm out of space over here.
You know, I was thinking about if you were to use black, this would almost be stained glass.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Right?
Yeah, totally. See, that's different than the other one.
No, it is. I'll bring the other one back.
It really is very cool to see, like when you stamp it, you can just see it starting to just suck it. Like you got to move. if you want to hold those lines in any way, you gotta like get down there and get it like heated up and ready to go.
Okay, so what do we have? Not going to use that.
Oh,
one.
yeah, I've done that.
Okay, let's do the usagami. Okay, again here, you can tell right away. I don't even have to know.
Mm-hmm.
You can see this would be the thicker. This is the fine. But now it seems like it did get a pretty good coating out there in the middle. This one really just bled out and
blurbed up. Yep.
So, you know, hey. Oh, wow. This is cool. Okay. I can tell. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening there? That immediately went through the paper and is stuck down to my butcher paper.
Yeah.
Here. That's cool.
And if you left it there, it would hold those.
It would hold that and be very cool looking.
Ah.
But I'm not even getting really much going through because it's saturated. I've got outlines here, but I'm not getting a lot of shapes right there.
Okay, so some things, and we are still pretty, I would call us like beginner embossing people, but like I know we have quite a few folks that are like way light years ahead of our capability. So hopefully they will correct me when I have said something wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's probably going to happen.
We're counting on you to do that.
All right. So one of the things, and I did learn this from Jeanette, is to, when you are using your heat gun, heat it up. That does help. I swear. That was like a life-changing kind of like, oh, that really does. Because what you're doing is then you're putting like the right amount of heat right away. And especially with some of these the chunkier stuff, because it blows away. Because there's, you know, it's blowing as much as it is heating. So if it isn't really stuck in there, it just kind of blows away. And that happens more so with the heavy, thick stuff. But if you put that heat on it really quick, you know, or if it's just the right amount, then it heats it up pretty quick. And if you're doing certain things now, again, with a lot of these papers, that being able to heat the back of it is not an option because it just rolls
really
off.
floppy.
Yeah, and it just rolls off.
Yeah. But I want you to watch this action here.
Mm-hmm. It just it drinks it up. It's imbibing. They use the gummy, very imbibing.
It is. It's drinking it in. And you can see, you can't really tell the difference between the sides unless you just look at the, but it's holding the line.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting. Okay. Now here, we'll just put this down to save some ink. Paint. Look at that.
Like I said, not all experiments are equal.
Not all experiments are equal. Okay, I'm liking how this is. I'm getting better cells.
Mm.
Here, see that right away. My line width has been reduced. I'm getting a lot of more action here.
So Sophia says that heating from the back can help prevent the blowing away. And I would say, like, in a more traditional kind of way, yes, that's probably true. Certainly would be the case with the fine powder. It's just with that extra heavy, I'm telling you, it would just roll off. Even when I was tapping it to,
well, it's still on there, rolling off. When I got it out a while ago.
I was also
a little balls here.
Yeah, I was also a little bit worried that like putting too much heat on it directly was going, because I could tell that it was starting to burn.
look how much paint is left behind. So it's going to pull to the back, and I am going to make a prediction that when I pick this up later, it's going to be darker on the back than on the front because it's going to sediment.
Yes.
It is going to go down. And okay, I'm quickly running out of space over here. Okay, the Gossan and the Torinoco. Okay, let's do the Gossan. Okay, look what you know right away. It's very absorbent because it pulled that in from the back side. We'll just go ahead and go with some lovely red violet here.
And I think, is this the thicker of the emboss? I need to see them side by side to be able to tell you which one's which.
This is the fine line, I think. Because I can see the big
chunks. I love the colors on that. That makes me happy. All right, you got 40 minutes.
Well, like I said, I didn't know how much we were going to get to.
Yeah.
All right, now out in the middle, I want a yellow.
It was. That was the other. Yes. Thank you. I thought I had kind of said that, but I'm glad that you clarified. Thank you, Lynn. So, with a lot of these papers, as you can see, how it sucks up the watercolor, it is also doing that with any medium that is being put on it, or through it or around it. That even means that the clear emboss, the clear ink, it was sucking it right in there. That's why I said you have to kind of move pretty quick to get it to, even, hold whatever you could get to hold before it sucked in and spread out.
Okay, the Gossan is also very, very absorbent. And I think this is a really good thing to do to establish that.
Yeah. Bye, Trish. Thanks for hanging.
That particular. Okay, we're just going to do that again. What?
Oh, they were asking which heat gun. We have the We Are Memory Keepers one. Pretty sure that's what it is. Doesn't have a lot of branding on it. This one.
This little brush is really a good one. Because it's nice and pointy, and so it gets into those little petal spots.
Yeah, so Kat, we accidentally did that on some of those earlier ones. I don't know if you saw that or not, but because the embossing powder didn't stick, that is all that was resisting or there to set the line was the clear ink. Now, I don't know how long, like what the longevity of that, because the oil will evaporate over time, because that's what it is. It's oily stuff. Now, it might leave a residue behind, but it's going to be really blurry.
Now, see, that didn't want to pick that up at all. This is the...
Hi, Gayla.
Torinoco. Is that Gayla?
Yeah.
Baltimore Gayla?
Yeah, our Gayla.
Hey.
I think she's sick. Our baby's kind of sick, too. Just sore throat and coughing, sneezing. Sure she picked that up at school. You know, it only took a week.
I'm trying to use a little bit stronger color on some of these, simply because it seems when I look over here at these, they've really just sort of disappeared. Hey, Gayla, if you see April, tell her I'm using her watercolors.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you use a black on this,
it would be cool.
You would have a total effect of
and I would highly recommend, if you are doing this with like just an ink would probably not capture it, wouldn't stay sticky enough or on the surface long enough even for the fine, because like these absorb so quickly, and that like, and it dries.
Yeah.
So you would want to use, what would work really well would be the like black acrylic paint.
I would definitely. Especially if you want those smaller lines.
In an open paint. And then put the embossing powder over it. That way it'll give you like a double whammy of like, it's going to sit on
a little bit of time to make some. We fell down on our experiment. We should have done that. I feel like.
Well, we kind of know.
We did, because of what the results we got with the other flowers, the edges of the flowers.
Because those were embossed. I don't know if we kind of...
All right, I'm just going to take a chance and turn this over, but you can see it's not going through.
Not as much, yeah.
Yeah, and it certainly didn't suck up the paint from the bottom up. So that's the Torinoco. All right, I think we've gotten at least one in everything. Yeah, we need to do this mashi. It's a lot like the...
Why do you have 3?
Asagami.
Why do you have 3 over there?
Oh, because this is Yasumoto sketch. I'm not going to do that one. Okay. Now, Mariah, I want you to tell them which one is which here.
So the one on her bracelet hand there, that one right there, that is the thick. And I can tell you right now that the center of that is just ink. It is not the embossing.
And it might have some resist because it's oil.
Yeah.
But it's not going to hold.
Right. The mashi one there probably is all fine and all went through. Like the embossing powder bled through. Like it sucked it through. Like I have plastic stuff over here from doing the heat thing because it's so thin and so porous that it just goes all the way through.
Okay, so let's just do a quick little... But you can see there in the center, you're not getting any hold on the lines at all. It just all smooshed out. But now this is interesting. Back here. See the little bubbly bits?
You see how where like it did... The heat embossing did happen, or it didn't. Carrie says, you may not even want to emboss if you are using acrylic paint as it dries to a similar finish. Yes, that's true. Like if you have a glossy like paint, yeah, it might just be perfectly fine. But if you want that extra little shine and the dimension.
I don't know. I still like it.
Yeah.
But boy, does it ever absorb. But we already knew that.
And those were some of the first ones I had done that technique in. And I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to go well.
See, look.
Yeah. Oh, I was so happy that you mentioned that because P and I were talking about that yesterday, that perhaps a better way to get the clear lines would be to utilize something like a clear gesso or even just a matte medium, like stamp it like with the And then you would be able to get this. Depending on probably how, like if it's a thicker medium, that would be your best bet. Because again, it sucks it up. And so it's going to spread. As it sucks it in, it spreads. And yes, and that is also another good point, Paula. With a matte medium, the watercolor is going to stick to it somewhat. We know that. It sort of activates the mediums because they are of a similar, because they are like acrylic water-based products, right? So ever so slightly, so you wouldn't get the full resist that you're getting with something like the embossed powder.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That is true. And here's the thing. Some of these papers that are so absorbent and pull it all the way through,
well, and
you're going to get more resist with that.
Right. And gesso, depending on what kind of gesso, it is to prep a surface. It is actually meant to have some tooth and ability to grab onto other medium.
Right.
Typically. Now, some gesso's complete crap and it's like slicky.
It's slicky. I don't care for it.
No, I don't really understand its purpose.
Yeah, and I don't like the shiny business.
Because to me, that's then just really like white paint. It's not gesso to prep a surface. Yeah.
Get your white paint out.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to let these set a while here because some of them are really, they're still in the process of drying. And I'd rather not move them about the cabin. And, okay, so we're just going to go on here to
the red flowers.
The red flowers. And what time is it? Oh, I got time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
30 minutes.
I might have to take a little, still drinking coffee this morning when I should have been doing other things. Okay. Here we go. Let's get some good colors mixed up out here so that we can.
I'm very curious. Now, this has not been embossed. This is one where we did not like seal it in with the embossing because I was curious as to how this ink would actually perform with the watercolor. Now, it has dried though. 24 hours probably ish.
Really like this mulberry paper stuff.
Yeah.
This is the Coso.
And yes, and Mo is right. This is the cherry blossom stamp. I don't know which one because there are 5.
We picked this one because it had the most exposed
area to watercolor in.
Okay, again, very absorbent paper. You could use either side. You can tell that it's not, the stamping here isn't necessarily going to stop it from bleeding out.
No.
But we knew that because it's not
a resist.
It's not a resist.
Although I was kind of suspecting maybe a slight, it's not going to be noticeable because this ink is an oil based ink.
And you can really tell you can see a little haloing of the ink there.
Ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly.
Yeah. Oh, here, hold this. This is the Shachiata. This stuff. I got it as a re-inker for this one stuff, but I don't know that it is exactly the same. Because the only thing that's written in English is that name. Everything else is in Japanese. But I love that.
I do too. I think it looks really cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the ink. Yeah, there's the ink link.
And
Thanks,
again,
Mo.
this is the Mashi, and it is going to go onto the back. And the Coso also.
Mm-hmm.
Coso is the mulberry, and I think the Mashi is a hemp. Gosh,
Oh, good call, Susan.
I really am running out of.
Oh, do you want me to come put up some of these?
Well, I
over
don't
here?
know that you can I should take this and put this on the floor. Okay, that's what I'm going
Here.
to. Oh.
Well, why don't you just pull this hole?
Well, I was kind of using that so my board didn't get all gooed up, but it's okay.
Really?
It's about time for it to have a good paint over.
Things over here being attacked.
Okay, this is the Yasutomo sketch.
You can really see the kind of oily haloing
Oh yeah,
on this one. How dissolvable is the mochi? Yes, it's very like it.
Yeah, if you get it wet, it tears quite nicely. If that's where you're going with this.
Hi, Kim. And Kim, are you the Kim that sent us the Happy Mail with the turtle? Because you'll want to watch the beginning of this video.
Okay, now you can see super absorbent in the fact that, and I of course, it was pretty heavy. I went heavy on the water here. But the ink is staying put. That is just totally from the watercolor.
Yeah.
Totally from the watercolor. Okay. Well, oh, wow.
Well, we loved it, and you'll have to go back and watch.
Yes. The Hanshi paper. I don't know. I should have Mariah start reading you the attributes.
Hanshi is
Hanshi.
The larger size sheets available, 9.5 by 13, and it is Japanese. That's all you wrote over here.
That was all the information that I had. But it's super absorbent.
I'll go to the website.
And it because of the absorbency, you're not going to get a lot of fine lines with this. So you just need to keep that in mind, and if you're going to do brush strokes and painting on it, you need to take that into account that your brush needs to be.
Okay, lightweight, thin, durable, is traditionally used to practice lettering and sumi painting strokes. Hanshi paper performs more like expensive art paper, so students can master their art and lettering strokes at an affordable cost.
Now, I don't know. Sumi ink has a thickness to it that these watercolors, because I'm using so much water with them, the Sumi ink is much
thicker.
It has Arabic in it, gum Arabic in it.
Yeah.
That when you grind it up, you really can see it because the stick that you get, it is solid. It's
right. It's pigment.
It's pigment. Totally. That's all it is. All right. This Usagami.
Vermillion oil. Oh, thank you, Susan. She did the translation from the bottle for the ink.
Now, I want you to notice on this.
Yes, it's.
Yeah. And that makes total sense because look at that. You can't even tell which side you stamped on.
Right.
They're almost identical. Oh, yeah, it affects. Can you see how the watercolor is rolling up there?
Okay, so Usagami is a strong translucent tissue paper made in the Ehime, maybe, I don't know, prefecture of Japan. It is sized to allow for finer detail in ink, which that's really interesting because...
Yeah, okay.
Watercolor monoprinting or mono printing, print making. Okay, they need to, okay, that's one word. And laser printing.
Oh, wow.
We run it through the laser printer.
Well, I don't know how you're going to get it to stick. But you can see here, it really, it's super, super absorbent. It's beautiful. Oh, gosh, I can't even put that down over there because it's swooping off.
Yeah, I was having trouble moving the papers because it was like...
Okay. And this is Asagami. I'm kind of liking using these darker purples because I think that they show the line of the...
Yeah.
More better.
Yes.
Okay, read to me about this Asagami paper.
Yep. Sorry, I was very into what you were doing.
Oh.
Asagami art paper is made in the Ehime Prefecture also. Is known for producing authentic, high-quality Japanese paper. Asagami is a neutral sized paper. I wonder if they mean natural, or maybe it's just neutral sized paper used for woodblock printing, monoprinting, stamping, mixed media, watercolor, gansei painting, ink work, inkjet, laser printing, and legal documents. It's kind of your, it does all the things.
And look at how nicely it holds the line.
Yeah.
Does it have a lot of sizing? Does it say size?
Neutral sizing is what it said.
Neutral sizing. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. We have here, this is the Gashin, which you can see it's not floppy. It has a lot more. Right, you want to read about that?
I'm going to.
She's fixing to read about it.
I'm fixing.
Fixing to.
Made in the Koshu district near Mount Fuji, Japan, Koshu is known for producing authentic, high-quality Japanese paper. Gassen is a very resilient pulp-based paper, lightly sized to allow for finer detail for ink painting, watercolor, sumagashi, which is Japanese marbling, calligraphy, and block printing. Sumigashi and suminagashi. I don't know if all of those letters are pronounced.
Okay.
Oh, Mo says, could neutral mean acid free? Well, it said sizing though, like neutral sizing. Maybe. I could Google that.
Okay, I think that the thing is this paper is extremely absorbent, and I'm going to bring this one back over here. This had more of a tendency. See, it's sitting on the surface. You can still see that, and you notice the difference between this and this. So you can get these lovely, lovely lines, just almost like those. But this is going to take longer to dry, and we shall see what happens. Don't know.
Okay, according to the Google, neutral sizing in paper is a sizing system that uses a hydrophobic ingredient that is non-ionic and has no charge. This means that it is not very attracted to cellulosic fibers. To make the sizing chemical non-ionic, specifically designed polymers can be incorporated into it. Neutral sizing can be used in paper making at a wet end in the neutral pH conditions. So yeah, I think, okay, so it did have something to do with that, but not necessarily same. Tornoko. Tornoko paper is made in the Eshizen district of I wonder if it's Ekazen. I don't know if it's a ch or a k. District of Japan. It is known for producing authentic, high-quality Japanese paper. Tornoko is a very sturdy, pulp-based paper, lightly sized to allow for finer line detail in ink painting, watercolor, sumagashi, chigiri, which is Japanese collage, chigiri, yeah, and printmaking. Tornoko art paper holds up to watercolor washes with minimal wrinkling.
Okay, one thing I would like to point out here, and I didn't notice this happening on any of the others, where it meets with the, it's almost intensified.
So it's like sucking into the oily spots.
Yeah, and haloing kind of out around it in a darker.
That is interesting.
I didn't notice that happening on any of the others.
Well, that could even...
Yeah, it did.
With the sizing, could it, because the oil itself could be sucking in the sizing.
True. Yeah. All righty.
Hey, Martha.
All right. Yeah. What do we got here? Okay.
That's the paper stuff. Look at that.
That is it. And I do want to bring those back and show you, but I need to go pee.
You would like to use the restroom?
Yeah. Simply because if I sneeze or something, it's going to get really very uncomfortable here.
Okay, well, I'm going to set that over here.
Okay.
I'm going to say, hey, guys, do you have any questions? Let us know in the chat. If you're watching on replay, definitely let us know in the comments if you had any questions or comments or thoughts or feelings. Yeah. So guys says, have you tried wet on wet to fill up the paper first? Okay, with a lot of these, especially the thinner papers, like the Hanshi, I would say, simply because you saw what happened with some of them where she just dipped it in the paper and it sucked it right up. Not that you can't do it, but what you would probably want to do is make sure that wherever you are doing it, you leave the paper and don't move it about, and you're not doing any kind of lots of brushwork or anything like that. Because some of them are so, like, once the water's on them, they almost just, like, dissolve. There we go. That was the word I was looking for, basically. Which is great for, like, the whole being able to collage and them disappear, that type of situation. She brought the soap for a reason. It's not just, crazy lady bringing her soap with her. It's funny. So yeah, I would say that for some of these, especially like, okay, the sketch paper, the heavier duty papers, no problem. Wet on wet, it's going to work fine.
Yeah.
No worries.
No worries.
Some of those thinner ones, I don't think that it would be a very good candidate because everything's just going to smush out and the paper itself is going to fall apart unless you let it fully dry in place. Then you might even be careful with that because depending on where it's at, like, it's going to stick and then it's going to rip.
And here's the thing. The watercolors are not all alike. Some of them have more of one thing or another. Now, these are really thick and juicy little paints because they have honey is their...
Yeah. I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it the honey one?
Yeah, that's a honey one. Now, the reason I brought this out here is because Mariah, what did you do with those pictures you took yesterday?
I have them on my phone.
She's got them on her phone.
Post them in Makers.
She's going to post them in Makers. But this is that foamy, and I just put in my hydrogen peroxide Dawn.
And it did.
And it's foamed.
So if you buy any of these dispensers that say they're foam, then you can fill it with whatever you want after you have the proper dispenser.
Yeah.
But it's really fantastic because you'll see when I post over Makers, like if you're cleaning your stamps
Yeah.
and you want to make sure that all of the paint is off of there. Once the foam goes white, then you know that it's cleaned up.
Yeah, because it's...
And I'll show you the pictures. It is quite noticeable.
And I think it's just because if you use dark paint, you can't tell.
Right. If you got it all off.
If you got it all off or not. But this way, you know you got it all off. And you're not having to paint buildup, because I think after a while, it's like, paint on paint, it doesn't work well. Mm-mm. That's going to what happens with your stamp if you don't clean them properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a big cleaning freak, so I'm really, if I'm telling you that,
it's important.
It's important. Okay.
You got 10 minutes. I don't know what you want to do with that, or
what do I
want to
do? I'm just going to go ahead and paint these ones that I haven't painted
there
here.
There you go.
And chit chat about this and that. Okay, this is the Yasutomo sketch paper, and you can tell that it went through.
Now, on that one, I would say, like, if you wanted to do, like, a wet on wet at the top there, that could be a good, because this one will do just fine. Understanding what we have come up with at this point.
And you can see, it pretty much stays put. Now I need to... Okay.
Are you enjoying playing in the puddles?
I am.
Okay.
Okay, you can see, you can get some nice subtle results there. Yeah.
That's not going to be true with a lot of these papers.
No.
Like the ones that, again, I'll just repeat that. Any of the ones that P had like dipped down, or automatically whenever she had placed them down on the paper and there was any paint, watercolor that was already there on the, and then it sucked it right in. Any of those are probably not going to be the most ideal situation for a wet on wet type technique.
This is just really a lot of fun. I mean, I can see doing this with some of those stamps like, the texture stamps like Carrie's bubble wrap.
Oh, that would be cool.
And, flowing in and doing some wonderful ombre work there.
Yeah.
With those, because I think that would just be ever so much fun. We were just trying to really stick with our floral theme here. Simply because it's what we had going.
And it was pretty.
And it was pretty. And it seemed to have, a floral motif is expressed throughout.
Right. When you're doing your experimenting, nothing wrong with keeping it aesthetically pleasing as well.
Well, really seriously.
Bye, Fran.
And I will say that this little brush here, Sean Bowen.
Yeah, and
3386. It's a number 6.
Is it Christy Rice? I think that's her name. She has these brush sets. I'm assuming that like they've white labeled it or whatever because they look exactly the same. And they're all from China. They're fantastic. We have them linked over in our Amazon shop if you are interested in those. Safio says, please tell P, I am loving how these are coming out. Proud flower stamp mama. This was the Dahlia by Safia.
Okay. All right. So here we have some Torinoko. We're going to put it down over. Now, isn't that interesting? Look where it absorbed into first.
Yeah, the line.
The lines.
So that tells me probably what happened is that it didn't like totally emboss all the way through.
And see, it's not sucking through all the way.
And the Toranico was, remember, the one that has sturdy pulp based, lightly sized. All right, bye, y'all. Thanks for hanging. Make sure you've given those thumbsy upsies before you head out if you haven't.
Don't head out. We'll look and see when you left and timestamp you.
We don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying stuff like that because I heard somebody else say it.
She says things.
I have no idea what it means.
Oh, and Mo, if you want to drop in the link. So I've listed all the ones that I could find, which I think that Moshi paper is listed on our Amazon. If you want to use our affiliate links, we very much appreciate that. And those of you, a lot of you guys have, I think this is probably this last month, we did get some affiliate money, which was really always surprising and awesome. It's pretty cool. It's not, supporting the channel 100% at this point in time, but every little bit counts. I love that.
Every little bit.
It adds up.
It really does. And the thing is it doesn't cost you anything. That's what I like.
Not in addition, yeah.
And I just, whenever that kind of stuff happens, I'm all about that. I'm really having a good time here with it. I don't know if you noticed or not.
Yeah.
With my little...
It's just doing things.
Wobbly, hoop-de-doo things here.
And then as far as the Toranico or Toronoko paper, you can get that over on Blick. That's where I found that one listed. I couldn't find it on Amazon.
I do like it very much. I do. And I don't know what the price, we really didn't talk about price on these so much.
I don't like doing that because we don't always know. Things change, and then this video then doesn't have the same value that it would because people are like, oh, well, that's not what it's listed as anymore, or this or that. We used to do pricing, but I think all of it is fairly reasonable, and they sell it usually in either 100 sheets or 500, so there's not a big, you don't have to go, oh man, I'm fully committed to 500 sheets, but
yeah, I got to make a real
what if I don't like it,
Hey, but if if you have that feeling about that, you can go back and check the video. Exactly. This thing we're doing right now.
Exactly.
But you can see what I like about how it really concentrates in those little cellular areas. The Torinoco.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. We very much appreciate it. And hopefully you found lots of value in these experiments. I know that we've had a blast doing them and probably will continue doing some. We need to glue these down so you'll see this stuff again. No worries. Once everything dries, we'll bring it back around and show you on the cards what we've done with all of that. Okay, tomorrow I have a special, hopefully I can get, I need to do something today with you and I. And then tomorrow is going to be a surprise of a completely different thing. Actually, we've done it before. It's been a while, but it's going to be fun.
Bringing it back. Bring it back. And it's going to be different because we're different.
Yes, exactly. And I have different products that I'm going to use this time. So that's there you go. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for hanging.
Thank you. And thank you for the comments. All of them. They are fabulous. And you all just make me feel so good when I read those comments. I can't tell you how important they are. So keep it up.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.